Burned. That didn't work. I try to be all mysterious, but no. And my cat's trying to come in. Are you serious, cat? You wanna fight? You wanna fight? Come here. Come here. Hi, fluffy girl. You're not allowed in the recording room. You know what? I think I'm gonna keep that in just for the heck of it. A little bit behind the scenes for y'all. It's not like this part isn't gonna be like, I don't know, 25 minutes anyway. Oof. To like climb into my chair. Ugh. Ugh. Anyway. Burned, part 31, a Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction, blah blah blah. If you haven't heard the other parts, blah blah blah. Today's theme is sunrise, woohoo! Also, this is the last part, in case you suddenly can't read the title. Let's see here. If you haven't read the previous 30 parts, and you just skipped ahead to see the ending, you suck! Anyway, moving on. If you don't want to suck, you can go back and watch all the parts in order. Now then, let's get burned. Dinner. Dinner, 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 dinner! Adrian got to have dinner with Ladybug! Well, Cat Noir got to have dinner with Ladybug. It wasn't like he'd have to spend forever getting ready for it. He only had one suit to wear. A question lingered on his mind. Why? Why did Ladybug go back on her words? According to her, they weren't supposed to know anything about the other, but she slipped up recently. Sure, she'd changed the subject when the topic became less broad, but something changed between them over the course of the last month, and he couldn't figure out why. What happened over the last month anyway? The bonding session Master Fu ordered? The Marinette incident? The boat date? Well, the boat date was when he witnessed the change firsthand. There was no way she'd have done that for him before. Not that she wouldn't have done something for him, but Ladybug wouldn't let him call it a date. That's for sure. Cat waited in the park, anxious and playing hide-and-seek with some kids. He found starkly obvious places to hide so they could make fun of him, and even let a few pull his tail. Good times, children. Good times. But the sun began to set, which, for July in Paris, was well past Cat's normal dinner time. She wasn't standing him up, was she? It was nearly 9:30. Granted, he should have tried to call her about an hour ago, but time flies when anxiety kicks in. Well, quite the opposite. He told himself it was too soon to call about a dozen times, and now he regretted it. Hey, sorry I'm late. Cat turned to see Ladybug perched atop a swing set. Fashionably so, he said, placing his hands on his hips. I'm very upset with you, little lady. I might even tell Hawkmoth on you. She laughed and jumped down. So, am I in charge of dinner? Or is it your treat? He playfully tapped on his chin, making a show of rocking his hips from side to side. I wouldn't say no to a cheap drive-thru. Good. I've spent the last hour thinking about a burger. Dine in or take out? Take out, duh. We know all the best views in the city. Why not use them? I'll race you. She left before he cracked a smile. Oof. Cat took off after her, not only trying to keep up, but also figure out where she was going. He could tell Ladybug was playing with him, purposely taking alleys and sidestepping chimneys. He'd keep up. He could do it. Until he couldn't. Where'd she go? He found a chimney to perch on and look around. He didn't want to call her just yet. His pride wouldn't allow it. Maybe she went... Oh. There's an akumatized victim over there. Great. dinner would have to wait. He took a sharp left to assess the situation. One victim. Male. Mid-20s, maybe? Didn't have any minion powers thus far. Cat debated revealing himself. Was it too early? Red Rover, bring Cat Noir on over. Cat felt his body fling forward against his will. He barreled to the ground towards a line of marble statues, slamming his gut into fists made of stone. Oof. The impact knocked the wind out of his lungs and sent him into shock. Is that all you got, Game Master? He huffed. The longer he could distract this victim, the better chance Ladybug had of swinging in. He didn't want her to go through what he did. Excuse you, the victim said. It's game changer to you. Sounds like you have commitment issues. Keep him distracted. Don't let him call Ladybug. What happened? Did you get kicked out of your D&D club? Don't lump me together with that lot. I'm far beyond their talent. I'm more of an Exploding Kittens player myself. From the oatmeal? Have you played their other games? I could go for a round of throw burrito right about now. No, we have to finish what we started. Red Rover, said Ladybug. Game Changer began. Cat sighed and threw his baton, knocking the victim in the teeth. Ouch. As expected, Ladybug used that as her chance to come out of hiding, wrapping Game Changer in her yo-yo string. Gotcha! She called, landing down with triumph. No, you cheated! I have you cheating, kids! Game Changer yelled. Red light, green light. Red light, green light? Cat always wanted to play this game, but had no friends growing up to play it with. While he was hungry and wanted to get this over with, it excited part of him. Who's playing? Both of you, me, and all of Paris. But be careful. If you're caught, I'll turn you into a traffic light. Good luck! Game Changer let out an unsettling chuckle. The games didn't stop there. Regardless of how they won, the Game Changer would declare they cheated and start a different one. He even tried tic-tac-toe and rock, paper, scissors. Once they rolled onto hide-and-go-seek, time dragged, shifting into the morning hours. Cat! Ladybug called. They'd just finished a game of sardines, and the Game Changer was trying to escape again, but the lack of sleep dulled his senses. Cat focused just in time to realize he would have walked off the bridge. Come here! Do you have another plan? 17th time's a charm. Check this out. This better work. The duo was hitting 9 hours into their shift, and he could feel the effects taxing his movements. She explained her plan and, without hesitation, Cat spun around. Cataclysm! He yelled, pressing his hand to the sidewalk and crumbling the foundation beneath each lamppost on the block. The victim wouldn't be able to get away this time. Cat jumped to a roof to see where the Game Changer would try to run next. And, like magic, her plan worked. The Game Changer was trapped, and his object of transformation was in her hand. No more evil doing for you, little Akuma, Ladybug said. Her lucky charm spread across the sky, relieving them of their duty. Finally, Cat huffed, dropping to the rooftop in exhaustion. Pound it. He mustered the strength to stand up when the sun caught his eye. Oh, wow. What? Look. Cat turned to see the sunrise draping over buildings, reflecting off windows and waking the city. 6:22 a.m. Wow. He'd seen some great sunsets as Cat Noir, but sunrises were few and far between. Some might argue they're the same, but daybreak differed from dusk's golden hour. He reached up and put his arm around her shoulders, drawing himself to her. Cat knew better than to give some sappy line about beauty, but he wanted to say something. But how? How could he put his longing into words? They stood there for a few moments longer, taking in the sun and the city. His ring beeped, and she touched her ears, knowing their time was running out as well. "I'd like to see more things like this with you," Cat said. The air stood still between them. "Yeah," she said, looking up at him. "I think that's a good idea now." Cat squeezed her closer and sighed, knowing not to get his hopes up. "You know, my lady, if you keep saying things like that, I'll get burned." She put a hand to his chest and pushed herself upright. "What do you mean?" "It's no secret I like you. Don't tease me further. Please." "I'm not teasing you." "No, you're being nice, and that's far crueler." Another beep. She looked flabbergasted, unable to respond. "Alterous attraction?" she finally said. "What?" "I don't love you romantically, Cat. But whatever this is, it's not platonic either." His stomach twisted, and he was suddenly all too aware of his tongue sticking to the roof of his mouth. "I don't know what you mean by that." She knew he had less than a minute left, but didn't try to shoo him away. "Should I go?" "Let's sit, back to back." He did as instructed, feeling his transformation wearing off as his body turned opposite hers. "I'm saying I would try," Ladybug continued. "Nothing past our identities, but how about we meet up once a week?" "For a date?" "If that's what you want to call it, yeah." Adrian hesitated a moment, surprised by what he heard, but also careful. He'd learned to sidestep shiny coins. "Masks on?" "Yeah." "Do you think anything will ever come out of our relationship if we trap it like that?" "This isn't some grandeur movie, Cat. A good superhero listens to her head, not her heart. How can I risk something on a love that doesn't exist yet? I like you. I hope that's enough for you right now. If you'd rather I walk away, I can do that too." "Isn't there someone else you like?" Cat shifted, uncomfortable with the pending answer. He dug himself into a hole with that question, hadn't he? "Yeah, but..." She sighed. "He's not you." "I know he's not me. I remind myself of that every day." "That's not what I mean. You and I, the trust we have, the jokes we make, he's not you." He wished he could turn around to look in her eyes. Adrian's face was surely red, and looking at plague scarfing down cheese certainly didn't help the mood. "My lady, surely there are others you could date with less secrecy." "Don't you get it? I don't know how to keep this up anymore. I'm exhausted of the fighting, of the secrets, of the half-baked excuses to my family and friends. I can't do it to you too. You're the only person who understands. What do you mean? Do it to me too. I'm saying I'll try. Head first. But only once a week? He tried to make his tone playful, but he didn't have hope kindled in his chest. His flame was out. He was tired. You don't want to? He might have jumped at the chance before, but now he wasn't sure. Claws out, Adrian whispered. Spots on. They stood up to look each other in the eye. Why does it feel like we're fighting? Cat Noir asked. I don't know. Because it's a bad idea? I guess I should have stuck to listening to my head and not my heart, huh? Could you live without me? Ladybug blinked in surprise. Like, do this without you? It'd be a lot harder, but you're my partner. I'd miss you quite terribly. But could you live without me? What do you mean? You choke me with your presence. You are the first one I think of in the morning, and you taunt my dreams at night. Everything I think about when it comes to the future, cities I want to live in, careers I could go into, even languages I want to learn, circle around being able to be with you. I can't live without you, and like a moth drawn to a flame, I keep coming back, no matter how many times I get burned. I wish I didn't love you like I do. I wish you didn't captivate me or choke me with your presence. I wish I could live without you, but I keep ending up here, on a rooftop, confessing my heart to you, and I'm tired. I'm tired of it, LB, but I can't stop my blood from playing through my veins and cycling through my heart. He turned to leave, wind filling his ears. It was over. His words were sure to crush any wandering feelings she may be feeling, as they always did. To his surprise, she grabbed his wrist with flushed cheeks. You can't just say something like that and leave. It's not fair. Kat turned to see her eyes wet, but he couldn't tell from what emotion. Was she that angry with him? She punched his shoulder and tilted her head down. He couldn't get a read on her. All is fair in love and war, my heart. This isn't me compromising. This is me asking a boy to try something new even though I'm scared. This is me asking a boy to collaborate with me. This is me asking a boy to invest his heart into a project to turn it into something new. This is me asking a boy to take a chance. This is me asking a boy to realize he is not the only one stealing glances with rushed heartbeats. That sounded like a confession. Did she just confess to him? Cat Noir wasn't sure what to do. Sacrifice his pride? Let the winds of her whims rekindle the fire in his heart? You steal glances? How dishonest. He wanted to slap himself. Why would he try to make a joke here? How had he trained himself to be so awkward? He'd blame it on sleep, but this was too important to blame on anything. He was straight up dumb. A dumb boy. Silly kitten. You know what I mean. A laugh. She laughed at his joke. It was that simple. She was perfect for him. Well, then, if you'll have me, I'd love to date you, my lady. We're going on dates, but we're not dating, okay? Whatever you say. Well then, She leaned forward and wrapped her arms behind his neck. I'll catch you tomorrow? Wrap me up with a yo-yo and call it a date. I'll see you then. Wow. Her eyes were ocean blue this close. Her nose could touch his with any breath, and the way she blinked slowly scrambled his internal sentence flow. Okay. Her hand slipped to his shoulders, down his arms, and intertwined with his fingers before slipping away. Ladybug took 3 steps backward before Cat realized this was goodbye. How did I not get kissed? The question wasn't addressed to anyone in particular, but if they were in a movie, the camera would have panned full circle around the sparks between them. She was gone, but the burning desire remained. He squatted in defeat, choosing to laugh at himself. She had him whipped. Dusting himself off, Cat Noir made his way home, more than tired from the long night. Dreams seemed to wash over him, begging his eyelids to stay shut when his alarm went off. Oof. Today would be rough on the current amount of sleep. After a long piano session, Adrian slipped out to the corner Starbucks to grab a mocha. That would wake him up. He stepped into the store and saw Marinette waiting by the counter, tapping on her phone. Before he could greet her, the barista called out an order, and she went to pick it up. A peanut butter mocha? For you? Adrian said, stepping up behind her. Adrian! Marinette exclaimed, whipping around and almost spilling the drinks. That's what it is, right? It's for a guy, actually, Marinette said, tucking hair behind her ears. A guy? Adrian raised an eyebrow in curiosity. Yeah, I'm hoping to meet up with him soon, and I want to surprise him with it. That's nice of you. Well, who wouldn't like a liquid peanut butter cup? A trickle of a laugh laced her words, as though it were an inside joke. He got me one last month, and I thought I'd return the favor. Back in June? No, silly. It's August already. Oh. It was August 1st, wasn't it? The month went by quickly. Where was he this time last month? Wasn't there an Akuma fight at some tennis tournament? Yeah. It was where he and Ladybug ate sandwiches and drank. Anyway, I'll see you around, Marinette said. Let me get the door for you. He reached and winced at the stretch, his bruises reminding him to take it easy. You okay there? Marinette stepped closer in concern, and he got a better look on the cup she held. One had a little cat doodled on it. Yeah, He shook his head to focus. Stay cool out there. The sun is killer. Yeah, well, I'll make sure to keep anyone I see wearing a black bodysuit under a tree or something. Adrian laughed and waved goodbye as she left, quickly dismissing a stray thought. There was no way. He decided to play in the park as Cat Noir rather than dwell on some strings of coincidence. He'd learned the hard way his friends and father would get hurt from such things. The kids were excited to see him, as usual, and he quickly found himself in a game of Red Rover, a tribute to last night's Akuma fight. Alas, a group of parents came by within a few minutes of starting, picking off children one by one until he found himself waving goodbye to the last teary-eyed kid. I always knew you had it in you to be a heartbreaker. Cat turned around to see Ladybug waiting on a bench with drinks. What did you expect? He asked. I'm an all-black bad boy. Yeah, right. She held out a drink. The only thing bad about you is your puns. He laughed and grabbed the drink, not checking to see what it was. It was nice to bring him a nice drink at the start, and a peanut butter mocha. Kat looked up at her, knowing better than to bring it to her attention. Instead, he walked over and wrapped his arms around her, pulling her head to his shoulder. There you are. I've been looking for you. He knew. Actually knew this time. It was her. He'd found her. He finally knew where his home was, no longer obstructed by a mask. Cat Noir was home, and it was as warm as the heat on an August day. The realization lit him up like the sun, clearing clouds of doubt and drying the rain he'd stormed up over the last month. Smiling to himself, Cat came to a simple conclusion. He wouldn't mind a sunburn. My back hurts. Grump, 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 grump. Whine, whine, whine. Grump, grump, grump. I'm getting old. Grump, grump, grump. Anyway, that's the last part. Thank you so much for listening. I really loved seeing your comments as parts flew by, and seeing a lot of you fall in love with the series, not right away, but more and more as time passed by. I know I didn't upload this according to schedule in terms of, pacing, in terms of how frequently I uploaded, but that was still fun. Anyway, I have lots planned for this channel, hopefully, unless if the show does a reveal soon, in which case I'm just gonna toss my work in progress in the trash. I love you guys so much, and thank you for giving me your eyeballs and your time.